I've got a bit of a mess in this high tunnel. Last week we took a family vacation for the long Labor Day weekend. We went to Curie Beach. I'll pop up a little video here.
Look, when the sun's buried down.
Very good. The sun just popped up.
Yeah, but it's not hot. It's cold. When we get on it, it's going to be cold.
All right, let's see.
See?
Oh yeah, it feels good.
Because the sound hadn't been out for a while.
That's right. That feels great.
We're going to shoot some pics.
Going to the beach in the morning.
Checking it out, isn't it?
Oh, is it fun? You need to run a little bit, didn't you? Oh, I know it. Oh. It was very nice and a nice break, but when we come back is a reality check in that the weeds are taking over, the plants are taking over. So I got a lot of work to do today, which is fine. I'm ready for it. So this is a little bit of what it looks like. So I've got grass. I've got cantaloupes that are coming ripe, hanging, which is amazing to me. All up in there. And I've got a tomato that has fallen back here. So I've got two tomatoes that have fallen here. I've got to get those back up and get those tomatoes trimmed. I've got a lot of fruit that's coming, but I've got a lot of vines that need to be trimmed off. Got a lot of grass in here in between my lettuce. So we've got a little work to do. Got some weeds coming up here at this end and weeds on the outside. We've got to get that tamed all up around the high tunnel. So yeah, we got a lot to do. And then down through the strawberries. Strawberries look good, but there's a lot of grass. So I've got to get all this grass out. I've ordered more strawberries. They should be coming in the next week or so to fill in this area with strawberries. But these that I transplanted are all looking great. I've just got to get in here and get this cleaned up, get these weeds and grasses out, and that's what I'm gonna do today. I'll put it on time lapse and just get after it, and then you can see this before and after when I get it nice and clean. Let me tell you how this cantaloupe situation happened. When I transplanted a lot of these, what I thought were cucumbers, actually I thought they were all cucumbers. I had no idea that they were cantaloupes. When they were about this tall, I didn't plant cantaloupes last year in my fence garden. So I didn't have any idea that they would be cantaloupes. I noticed that the leaves looked a little different, but I thought it's just a different variety of cucumber. So some of the cucumbers I grew from seed and put in, and I knew for sure they were cucumbers, but there were a lot of volunteers out in my fence garden. So I transplanted them in here, having no idea that they were cantaloupes. So about every other plant is a cantaloupe. So I have cantaloupe, cucumber, cantaloupe, cucumber. So I thought, how in the world did that happen? So what happened when I had to shorten and make the garden smaller for the high tunnel, I had a corner area that was a worm compost. And so I had to get rid of that. I couldn't keep it there. So the grand boys helped me just disperse all the worms and all that compost into the beds in the spring. So evidently I had cantaloupe seed in that worm compost mixture and, you know, grew cantaloupes. So they are truly God-given. I had nothing to do with the cantaloupes that are growing in this high tunnel, but it is quite spectacular. They are hanging everywhere and apparently have very strong stems. There's cucumber hanging above a cantaloupe, so they are absolutely mixed in. They are growing, both of them, out. Now I can tell you the difference now because now I know cucumbers have pointy leaves and cantaloupes have rounded leaves. So now I absolutely know the difference. And there's a cantaloupe growing right there, which is amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna get after this and get it cleaned up, and I'll put you on speed and we'll just follow along. So here we go. The strawberries look great. They really do. Get the grass out. So we've got the tomato row, we've got the lettuce row, the zucchinis, we've got the strawberries. Now I've got to tie up the melons and the cucumbers. I found one hornworm so far, but that doesn't mean there aren't more. Picked him off. They blend so well, it's hard to see them, but there's a lot of fruit in here. And there are a lot of flowers. And we still have a lot of pollinators, so we're good. I don't know why this one's dying. Generally, if they're dying, it's falling over. Clip these. So everything's looking pretty good as far as tomatoes go. There's a nice one. Okay, so all that's left is to tidy up the cucumbers. Look at that one. The cucumbers and the cantaloupes, which are hanging in here. They'll be ripe soon. So if you ever wondered if you can hang cantaloupes, the answer is yes. Oh my goodness. They're everywhere. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10 up in there. 11. I'm sure I've missed one. 12, 13, 14. So we got a little over a dozen cantaloupes growing in here, which is totally amazing. I've just ended up leaving the ladder in here because so many vines, and they got so tall quickly. So I'm just going to wind it up and it'll grab on and make its way up. Sorry, I'm gonna have to disappear back here for a minute. And wind these vines back up so they can still produce cucumbers. Question is, why trellis your vining plants? Because of this very thing. If you let them go, they would just cover the ground, and then you would have a lot less real estate to work with. So if you trellis them up on something fancy or just a string, which is what I did, then they grow vertically. They're a lot easier to pick, and you get a lot more plant in a smaller space. So definitely, if you can trellis your vines, your melons, I wouldn't suggest trellising a watermelon, but cantaloupes certainly, obviously can be trellised, which I wouldn't have believed that because I would have thought they were too heavy. But cucumbers like to grow vertically. They like to grab on these little tendrils. Otherwise, they'll grow all over the ground like that, and that's not what we want. We like for them to go up. So you just wind them, they'll grab on and start going. There's a lot of little cucumbers in here. I'm gonna let them go another day or so before I get them. And that cantaloupe's about ready. Don't quite smell it yet. Got the vines supported. We've got the tomatoes supported. We've got all the grass and weeds out from between the lettuce and the peppers and the zucchini. The watermelon's growing well. Little watermelons coming. And the strawberry row. So everything in the high tunnel is back in working order, all cleaned up and refreshed, tied up, supported, and ready to continue to grow. So we hopefully will be picking these melons soon and cucumbers.